I'm currently on the first leg of my trip from London to Melbourne. It's going to take me 24 hours. It's an absolute monster of a journey. And one of the bigger problems I've got, not just with the length of the trip, is that there is a time difference of 11 hours between London and Melbourne. They are 11 hours ahead. And I'm trying to beat jet lag. In this video, I'll show you whether or not I can do it. I'll give you the top tips. So the first tip is that you need to get onto the time zone that you're going to. So Melbourne's 11 hours ahead. Now, for me at the moment, it's around about 9 o'clock in the morning. This is a morning flight. I had to get up this morning at 4:30 to get this 8:30 flight. So I now have to think 11 hours ahead. So it's 9 o'clock for me here, and it's actually 8 o'clock in the evening in Melbourne. So I need to start getting into the meal pattern for Melbourne. So I'm going to have some food soon, which would be basically the equivalent of dinner, my evening meal in Melbourne. And then, and this is going to be the tricky part, I've got to try and have my sleep in line with what I would do in Melbourne. So in around about 4 or 5 hours time, I need to get some sleep. Now, for me, that's going to be mid-afternoon, which is, I won't really feel very sleepy. But the key thing with trying to beat jet lag is don't nap. Don't just sleep here for 20 minutes and there for 20 minutes, because you will be wrecked by the time you get where you're going. You need to get on a sleep program and try to get a block of sleep that matches, roughly speaking, where you're going. So I think for me, I'm going to try on the next flight, because this is a 7-hour flight that I'm on now. So if I'll wait until the next flight, I have my meal and then I'll have some sleep, it will be like going out some club and going to bed quite late in Melbourne. But that will help me to get firstly into the sleep pattern for Melbourne. The second tip is to stay hydrated. Drink lots of water. Now, luckily, they've given me a bottle of water, so I need to keep hydrated. Even if I'm not thirsty, I need to be taking on board liquid, because as soon as you're thirsty, that means that you're already dehydrated. And being on board a plane, you get more dehydrated because of the aircon in here, the pressure, the altitude. So you need to have more liquid than you think. And that doesn't mean having alcohol, because that's the next tip. Avoid alcohol and caffeine, because both of them will dehydrate you over the long term. They might make you feel good for a moment, and the alcohol might make you sleep, but you won't have a good sleep. And when you wake up, you will be more dehydrated than you were before you went to sleep. And caffeine is, again, a stimulant. It keeps you awake. And the problem with it is when you come back down, it throws your sleep pattern out. So avoid alcohol and caffeine if you can. And then make sure you take on board some fuel. So eat regularly. Try and eat in line with where you're going. So they're the tips. Will it work? Will I feel lovely and refreshed and without jet lag when I get to Melbourne? Well, let's wait and see. We've got a long way to go. I'm only half an hour into a 24-hour journey. Okay, I'm now 5 hours into my 24-hour journey. As you can see, I've just had something to eat, because I think having lots of food just helps keep your energy levels up. Now, the plan on this flight was to stay awake for all of it. So I've got about another hour and a bit to go. So it's about a 6-hour flight, 6 and a bit hours. So this is the daytime section. So managed to stay awake fine, obviously, because it's daytime for me. The plan, I'm going to land in Doha, 2 hours there, and then onto another 14-hour flight. And then the plan, if I'm trying to get my head around being on Melbourne time and minimize the jet lag, is to get some sleep early in that next flight, my sort of full nighttime sleep. So 6 or 7 or 8 hours, unlikely. But yeah, that's the plan, is get on board, have something to eat, relax, no alcohol, just water, cut down on the caffeine. So a minimum amount of tea and coffee. I don't drink coffee anyway, but minimum amount of tea for me. And then get some sleep and then wake up and then have a lot of time at the end of the flight when I'm awake. And then when I land in Melbourne, it will be late afternoon, early evening, and then stay up until bedtime. That is the plan, to try to minimize the jet lag. But so far, yeah, this flight's going really well. I mean, it does help that I'm in one of these Q suites, which are amazing. So it's massive. I've got brilliant Wi-Fi, so I can do whatever I want on the internet. So actually, it's great. I've actually done some live streaming that's that good. So I've actually done a couple of videos live, which tells you how good it is. And basically, I'm just relaxing, just having a good time, did a bit of work. So yeah, so far so good. 5 hours in, not a problem, but still another 19 hours to go, which is quite a lot. Here I am on my flight from Doha to Melbourne. Now, in terms of jet lag, how am I getting on? Well, I've been going for 10 hours and I've got another 14 hours to go. I haven't been to sleep yet, still awake. And what I'm going to do, this plane has now taken off. We're in the air. I've got windows here, but it's dark outside, so you can't see anything. What I'm going to do is have the meal. We'll go through the menu in a moment. And then I'm going to try to go to sleep, even though it's relatively early for me UK time. I've been traveling for 10 hours. It'll probably be 11 and a half, 12 hours by the time I've had my food and got settled down, got the bed made up. So traveling is quite tiring. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some sleep. And then once I wake up, that's it. No more sleeping. That's how I'm going to beat the jet lag or minimize the jet lag. I am now into hour 21 and a half of my 24-hour journey from London to Melbourne. So how's the jet lag going? Well, I managed to get a good night's sleep. So I don't know exactly how many hours I got because it's quite difficult to work it out when my phone keeps changing its time zone. But I know that I've been on this plane for around about 11 hours so far. It's a 14 and a half hour flight. It's got 3.5 hours to go. And I went to sleep 2.5 hours into the flight. So in theory, I've had 7 or 8 hours sleep. Now, it wasn't solid sleep. I wasn't unconsciously asleep like you are when you're a child. I was awake or semi-conscious for a lot of that time, where I was sort of just thinking, "Am I asleep? Am I awake?" But I decided not to get up and sit up. I didn't need to go to the toilet. I had a face mask on, which I think is a very important part of it. You need to cover your eyes so that you have blackouts on your eyes. I also was wearing an earplug on the ear that was facing up. So I don't wear it on the ear that's pressing into the pillow because I find that that just causes me problems and gives me earache. But if you have it on the ear that's sort of free to the air, it does help block out the sound. So I had a good amount of sleep. It's now, I'm 3.5 hours away from Melbourne and due to land at 5:30. So it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Melbourne time now. So I should be awake. Yeah, if it was a normal day, you'd be up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I wouldn't be asleep. So I need to be awake now, need to get onto Melbourne time to try and avoid serious jet lag. And what I've got to think about now is that in 9 hours, 10 hours time, when it's midnight in Melbourne, I need to go back to sleep. So I probably won't want to go to sleep in 9 hours time, but in the same way as I've just done on this flight, I'll just go to bed, lie down and just force myself, put an eye mask on. I did take a couple of magnesium tablets before I went to sleep, and I think it might have helped. I don't know. I don't take magnesium normally, but it might have helped. Certainly, I didn't feel like I was fully awake for the whole time. So I feel like the jet lag management's going quite well. I've just done one sleep. That's the important thing in this 24-hour journey. 21 and a half hours in or 20 and a half hours in. I've only had one sleep. I didn't have any napping. I haven't done anything else. And I think that's the key thing to trying to beat this jet lag.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.